Alright, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. So, I believe I've got this little camera issue sorted out. Again, all shall be explained, well, I guess momentarily, but for now, yeah, we've got some more news to be covering. Yes, why don't we? Indeed. So, why not? Well, I won't actually say, I've just since last, it's been about a couple of weeks since halfway in, and that, with this really long bloody quest, yeah, Song of the Elves. It's kind of occurred to me, obviously, with regards to how they want to do this sort of majestic, amazing puzzle of sorts, very much so, it's evident they wanted to try and evolve what was, like, there is one thing that's easier about this, there's no monsters at all. And now, like, once you were in that like temple, you were being pestered like fuck with the shadows, and unless you were very strong, they would probably kill you before too long. So alongside with all the energy stuff, you had a kind of a prayer time limit of sorts, where once you ran out of prayer, that is you a fucked, because then the shadows will start kind of hitting you, and well, as I say, yeah, this is involved with Serene and was it? No, Serene, I'm not. I'm gonna go with Serene just because Serene has an extra E and that, so yeah, that's probably the pronunciation for it. So yeah, generally speaking, in that this is just a mighty pain in the ass puzzle, but a puzzle it is, and that, and no doubt it would have been very interesting. I don't think you've seen anybody else here because this is an instance area, but no doubt on the first day of any quest, it's very interesting to see people going through it, and to this day, I've never done a single quest on the day of release. Never. There's been opportunities I could have, and the one that sticks out to my mind here is, and obviously this is the whole thing in regards to, what was that fucking, I didn't do it at the time of this recording here, but obviously you've seen it now with the whole, a quest, a cave. And the fuck, no, porcine interest, fuck. X marks the spot, yeah, that's it. I could have very easily done that quest, even like, it wasn't even that hard of a quest to be fair, but nah. For some reason I thought, you know what, that quest, I'll just make it the last quest. And then a porcine interest kind of came somewhere in the between that when I was finishing up. And I thought, okay, you know what, last non-members quest, and last members quest, and maybe last mini quest, which turned out to be pointless because they didn't have to count towards quest gate, but hey ho. So, there you have with that one. And also, to my knowledge, there's been a new quest that's came out I don't know if it's yesterday or the Wednesday, I forget now, but it's, I really fucking wish I'd looked it up, and that it's to do with a headless beast kind of thing. You'll no doubt know about it. Apparently someone were calling it the best in slot for a Nightmare Zone, but from what I've gathered, that's not really strictly true, because it's shit for those trying to train with prayer, because I can pierce through that, which is not so very good. And but apparently it's one of those kind of strong monsters that has really low defense, so in some ways it's ideal, but I'm like, nah. I do Nightmare Zone for AFK, not for, nah. Maybe for someone also it's got high range defense, that also fucks over range and that as well, so it's like, oh, it just got absorbed. And nah, it'll fuck you up, or rather you won't be able to fuck it up badly enough, but hey ho. So, proceeding with the news, of which I actually intentionally delayed this because I wanted to kind of get some more news out and that, and surprisingly it been kind of rather quickly, I thought it would have took me like more than a month to get enough news to kind of cover the other half, but here we are. So, okay, starting off, indeed, why not, with this whole login error. Now, as I understand, it seems to be that people having issues like, okay, is it just your internet shit? Well, that's an obvious one to check out. If it is, get that fucking fixed. If not, should be a problem. Then it's like, okay, you might be using VPNs or something, or rather, your internet connection's not really being like, I don't know, it's just some people's internet connections aren't really, if it's not stable, it's some wrong with like, I don't know, Jagex gets a bit funny with some connections. I don't know if this is the case in like, foreign countries, or this could be all across the world. Probably the latter, but I mean, who the fuck knows. Yeah, what they say is just use a VPN, you can bypass it, So I think it's really bad in some places like China or, other countries that are funny with internet connections, if you know what I mean. So there it's understandable. So, okay, you do that, there you go. Then there's the kind of problem where you do that, and it still says, too many login attempts. And it's like, okay, what do I do here then? This is where a lot of people are not really sure what the fuck's going on. And that, because it can be, okay, your card's just kind of waiting in, but let's just say you're still logged in rather than saying too many login attempts. And obviously you're banned, that should be fucking obvious, but yeah, evidently what's been happening, and now this started off with the whole Zizima thing, and it's really kicked up these past couple of months, is the whole premise, let me think, yeah, that's it. So, the idea of locking somebody out of their account, it's one largely filled with prejudice and sort of malice, I guess you could say, with a bit of, it's not benevolence, malevolence, this idea of just spiting somebody, but not just that, but there's a legitimate thing to be had with regards to, I don't want to say monetizing, but evidently it seems that some people have taken, or some particularly really shitty people, like, I'll give you an example of just what kind of shenanigans we have with the recent PS5 shortages. Yes, scalpers, those little fun pals and that who buy so generously thousands of, or hundreds of thousands of consoles for the PS5 to do the selling themselves to their own customers. Like, as I understand, middle shops kind of, somebody sells to these shops, they sell to customers, the middleman doesn't care who buys it, as long as it's somebody that buys it is willing to pay up, that's the customer who's paid. It doesn't matter if it's the one PS5, 1,000, what have you. Also, thank fuck, like puzzles done. But yeah, essentially they're in their own kind of controversy right now, and it's also very, very, very one-sided, as you can imagine. With a few people still debating it, so it's not a complete, shit show for them, but there you go. Capitalism, oh boy. So, evading that narrow politics discussion, yeah, the whole problem with these, I guess you could call botting clients that they're not used to play like bots, as you would think. These are clients, as in, not really to do with RuneScape, it's rather software that automatically, much like with the scalpers, actually now I think about it, they're just constantly trying to, like, a good comparison is to username sniper. They constantly put the username are valuable day in, day out, 24 hours just about. It's the same kind of thing with that. Once they start, they will just keep attempting, until they get all their offers, and it's like, holy fuck. Minutes, just so many can get sold out. It's fucking ridiculous. And yeah, the same thing seems to be happening here with regards to what seems pointless. Like, okay, if you're not going to hack account, why the fuck would you just put in the same one-digit password over and over and over and over again? What's the point? To be blunt with you, Jagex has fucked up with their login system, and I can understand years and years ago they didn't anticipate this being a problem, but there's a flaw in that I don't know what the exact limit is, I think it's like 5 to 10 times within a minute, it'll just lock you out, and the more you do it, the longer it goes on. So you can imagine a software that does that, not just one, but multiple people, every fucking minute, does in like 20 plus times. Yeah, it's quite problematic, because then, no matter what, every time of the day, so long as you keep that running, which I don't know the exact prices, I've heard estimates of somewhere around $10 to $20 or pounds a day, though I'm not sure the actual cost. It's funny is what I'm saying, like, probably it's way cheaper than that, and evidently it's something that people are using to kind of force people out. Like, the actual hackers, a smart tactic, and I hate having to kind of say that they're smart, but the thing is, what you think, okay, they've got a pin problem, how do we get around with it? The answer, quite simple now, just, you take what you can, then you go out the account, and then you have the bot set in to put in the fake password, so basically the one digit, over and over, so then when they say, okay, I'm just going to log in, they wonder why they can't log in, and for the next 3 to 7 days, they keep trying, and it's like, they just can't log in, and then when the pin's been undone, you then stop that software, you then log yourself in when it's for different time zone and all that, and then once that, you get right in there, take all the valuables, sell them, and fuck off with the loot. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get past the pin. You don't actually have to, you just wait out the pin time and make it inaccessible in between. And that's very much a huge problem on that. But it's not even just that now, it's like people are paying, or they're putting a small paying to kind of lock somebody out of their account for however many weeks, months, or I dare say even years if I guess it's really bad and this doesn't get fixed. In order to try and coax people, even if it's just to piss them off and no amount of money will do it, or they'll say, okay, for this amount and that, we will let you access back to your account, or they'll one big straight up fee and that. Basically, it's kind of bribing / not bribing, blackmail most likely. Yeah, it's really a bad sort of thing, and it's, nah. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Old School Runescape has something akin to a really shady kind of dark side to the community, and evidently. Such gentleman is I would say probably the one who does it best. Silpugger, fuck off. You know, it's like, someone does it from an entertainment perspective is not really interested in fixing the problems as a whole. It's like, you get those kind of entertainers, you know, those who are like really nice, or like absolute baller up you of having fun with and that, and just kind of like get your laughs and that. You know, really like good entertainers, but are they people you can actually fucking trust? Debatable. Depends how you, if you're trusting, if you're not trusting, if you're very cautious, or just kind of, you know, if you like somebody and you get the right signals, then it just doesn't matter what other people say. You know, I feel for me it's a matter of, you got to look at their past actions and that, what they believe and how do they stick to those beliefs and that. Like, fucking investigate, check third-party sources, don't trust them, check others. And that's how you check. The problem is that takes a lot of time, and unfortunately the vast majority of people these days don't really seem interested in doing that, as evident with the politics. But again, narrowly evading that discussion, because that's not even like, you know, Conservatives or Labour, Democrats or Republicans, and probably all the parties in like Canada, Europe, Japan, China, and Thailand, and Saudi Arabia, and all the other fucking countries I could possibly mention here. All that aside, I feel like that the Bolton situation is going to an extremely high, and it feels like I'm actually going to say more like this seems an interesting time for me to have departed, but more on that later. Same with the same with the actual Windows thing. I need to get onto that, but I'll save that for the end if I have time for it. So, with that having been said, there is actually one last thing I want to add just before I move on. It's actually to do, and this is again with the whole thing you might have heard earlier on the legal wooks and that. Indeed, legend that is currently exceeding Zizima of the past. He who has indeed returned for 2 weeks, it's now since been passed and he's now fucked off back to his programming job. Yeah, he made a good bit of progress, actually better than most I would say, and I don't know if he was right at the very top, but he was one of the best ones at the time. And yeah, within 5 hours of him playing on his normal account, or no, I forget, it was either on his normal account or of his outs and that. I don't know if he specifically created it, but I think probably he created it because he did say he was wary about that, and it turned out to be for fucking not, because Jagex support fucking sucks. Like, if it's not to do with like getting back with bonds, or like say, oh, I paid too much, or you know, I need like kind of this or that, you know, certain account things, they are fucking shit. And like, you know, okay, kudos to those who only deal with the issues they actually do give a damn about. That's fine. It's the other things that are there shit at. And it's not like, you know, if my job is an account, it's like, okay, I'm like gonna really hit shit hot, like say dealing with bond portfolios, you know, helping out with shares, the best advice to do investments. Okay, that's pretty good. But it's like, what if it's just like, just with taxes, just do that, whatever, you know, I don't care, you know, like, fuck off, I'd be out of a fucking job. And I'm not even a proper accountant yet, bearing that in mind. And I'm trained to be one in the years to come. Like, this is the thing. It's just, no. You can't do that. It's like, you're meant to be good at all parts of the job. Not perfect, but good enough. And then fuck it up and just say, some fuckwit just comes in, like say, oh, you know, I'm like, looks, you know, totally not, but, you know, I forgot my email address for this. I don't know how the fuck they even say it, but apparently they managed to convince them, say, that accountant, can you give me the email address? And they just fucking had it over. There's no security questions. Fucking hell. Again, it's just a bloody disaster, but I think I might have reiterated that point already, but it's just, holy fuck. It's probably worth mentioning because it's like, holy fuck. Like, even with my accounts and that, you could probably ask that, and no doubt that will be something of a contentious. It's like, you know the username? Just pretend, and if you sound half convincing, yeah, they'll probably just fucking hand over you. Like, and you know the login, that's really fucking scary. Like, yep, doesn't matter who you are, if Jagex support fucks up, and they hand the email address which your username's signed to, it doesn't matter if you're like a newer account and that, and you've not got the old user login kind of thing, you're fucked. And that's like, Christ, that's just a terrible security practice. So I don't know if they'll get around to it. I think they're aware of it, but currently they're just doing hee-haw about it. So I guess for now they're fucked and that. But right, moving on, and also yeah, off-site just a minute. Okay, there we go. So basically, there's a little thing they were doing. I don't know if I mentioned this a while back last month, and that was a Last Man Standing Twitch Prime event. And yes, I believe I spoke on how for a whole 4 weeks and that they were getting people to get as many kills or wins, I think it was wins and that on the Last Man Standing as possible, and that the top 50 players would all get rewards of some sort. Yeah, apparently it was almost unexpectedly a bit of a shitfest. And yeah, like complete disastrous, because the person who did it did a fucking terrible job advertising it. And well, I'll mention the name here, you know, because there's a bit of there's another controversy I'll get on later on, but remember the name Mod Rogue. Remember that. I'm not going to say anything right now, but I'll dig into that a little deeper. But evidently, esports aside, yes, the whole PvP organisation thing was a bit of a fucking disaster, and that, you know, like people like just didn't know when they were eligible, and even those who were, they didn't really get notified. So apparently not everybody's got their rewards and that, and those who did, it was only fucking 2 days of membership. What? You spent 4 weeks on what I'm not sure you have to be a member for to apply. Probably, yeah. Members, Last Man Standing, and the reward was fucking 2 days. Like, what? Like, I understand maybe 11th to 40, the 11th to 50th place. Yeah, probably. Okay, 2 days. So sorry, you get some, but it's not great. Then 10 to, you know, 5th could have been like better, 7 days. You know, 4th place gets maybe some like a nice 2 weeks. 3rd place gets a decent 1 month. You know, and then 2nd place could get a good 3 months, and finally the big 1st place. First, you know, either full year or 6 months, alongside with some monetary prices. If they went down the route, whichever they did not, because that Dead Man Stand proves that, you know, Dead Man Mode proves that, yeah, you can't do money because then it gets all the shady parts of the community out and DDoSing and all that fucking jazz. Yeah, nah. People just do not gel well with that. And it's a fucking shame as well, because it's just, like, what can you even say? It's nothing short of a disaster, you know, but we shall get around to this event again a little later on in the near future. So, alright, one last thing I want to get back on. Like, I'll probably touch on that topic next time and that, but to finish off, whilst I think we're about to get to fun things with you know what I think the village is called? Leowin? I'm pretty sure, yeah, Leowin. Not to be confused with the fucking, I forget, the fucking Elder Scrolls town and that, I believe it's what it's called. Yeah, so, getting on to this last bit of news here. Oh fuck. Yeah, so, General Gradar, any Iron Man hearing that name is probably shitting themselves. It has been for like a number of years because of the whole increasing popularity, you know. Irons, they get shafted aside. It's like, yeah, any man who wants the world, just basically say an iron, yeah, bitch, fuck off. It's my world now. It's like a free world. That's really true, especially as more and more competitions arise. That you will not see that unless you get really spiteful people in likes of Kriara, Krog Sitzroof, and Zelyana. You know, like, you'll get some dicks and that, but if you're a main, you're very unlikely to see them unless you're poorly equipped, and it's just like, they just feel like being a dickwad, you know. Like, with me having Twisted Bow, you know, Zelyana, nobody compete now, you know. It's like, you have to be fucking ballsy to take me on with that. Same with Crowd Sets Are Off, you know, Twist the Bow again, so it's like pretty good. Kriara, not so, because Twist the Bow is not really that great on that, and I don't know if I'll work even with a duo, but Grada, nah, you need a scythe to really be best in slow, and even then it's still not fantastic, and you know my issues with that. So yeah, over the past few months, however, Grada's been seeing a lot of popularity. It's not like the case of if you got a certain time zone, like it used to be when I've last did it, you know, you could still kind of get a few kills here and there. You know, it was busy, but not mega busy. Now, borderline 24/7, it's always busy, and it's becoming a nightmare for Irons these past few months. You know, I think largely it's to do with, if you recall, the recent changes with Revenant Caves has caused both Venezuelans, Egyptians, and the occasional Argentinian, as well as bots, I guess, in general, and that to start shifting attention elsewhere. And now Grado seems to be one of the big targets alongside with Nightmare and all that. It's getting pretty bad. Pretty bad indeed. So, yeah, it's not looking good. You know? Just fuck me. But, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's getting a breaking point and that, and it's evident if they don't do anything about it, well, it is going to be quite bad. But, again, more on that later, just like with the other one. So, indeed, I reckon we'll be finishing up here, and indeed going a little clue scroll and some familiar places in Isafdar, as I've done too many elite scrolls now and I've started to memorise some of them and that, but hey ho, hey ho. Alright, just finishing up here. Alrighty then, so, see you then.